Hello everyone and welcome back to Allcarnews today, and we have a bit of an interesting photo and video that one of our followers sent us over of a 296 GTB that doesn't look too similar to a regular 296 GTB. So let's dive in to this new spy shots and kind of see what we're looking at right here. Okay everyone, so our followers sent us over a few videos and these images of this 296 GTB that's clearly wrapped up in camouflage, and there's some weird stuff going on here that I think is very interesting to note. So the 296 GTB was revealed not too long ago, last summer in 2021, and we pretty much know almost everything about it. We've seen it in its regular format, we've seen it in the Assetto Fiorano package, which kind of adds a bit more sportiness, a bit more carbon fiber aerodynamics. You can get those optional stripes on it as well, but we haven't seen this right here. So I'm going to take a little close to these images. I'll kind of split them up between these ones that our follower sent us and the ones that we've seen from Ferrari, and there's some big differences here. Now, if you look at the rear end specifically, we can see that this one has kind of like a dual exhaust port coming out, and the regular 296 GTB has that central exhaust port. Now if you look carefully in this one, you do see that central exhaust port still there behind some kind of mesh, but we can't really tell if it's fake or real or not. And those two side exhaust ports, the bigger kind of circular ones, do not exist on a regular 296 GTB. So that is one definitely eye-catching thing to pay attention to right there. Another big thing that I kind of noticed on this one is that there seems to be a roof scoop on this one, but if you take a look closely, you can see it's very small, very thin roof scoop. And if you go to the back image again, if you kind of zoom in, it doesn't look like it's connected to anything particularly. Maybe there's some kind of tubing going around the sides to kind of let you see through that back window, but there's a lot of stuff covered up back there too, so I think there's something going on with the powertrain in this one as well. Even from the spy shot, this one our follower was able to get really close to these, which is a little terrifying, especially with Ferrari. They're very secretive with their prototypes, and it looks like to be a lot of computing and stuff going on the interior as well, so it looks like they're doing some kind of prototype testing with the engine. Maybe we're seeing a 296 GTB Pista or some other track focused version that they're developing already, which is pretty interesting, and that wouldn't really make too much sense as it's actual 296 isn't even out yet, but they could be doing some early testing for that, and this is very interesting to see. And those rear exhaust tips have been kind of tripping me out still looking at these images, because you can clearly see that center exhaust piece still in there and the side ones are also visible at the same time, but it looks like those seem to be more active versus the one hiding behind that mesh. And that's more typical of what we would see with a Ferrari that may be more track focused, especially in the past. So we're going to see what Ferrari does with this. And we also have a video clip that the follower sent over. I'll open this up right here, and we can hear it running in an exhaust, with the exhaust note running in the background, and it sounds pretty loud, pretty free flowing, pretty aggressive. So I'll let you guys hear that real quick. Okay, awesome. So you can hear that right now. Now, I want to play you guys an exhaust clip that a different follower sent me, and they did allow us to use these videos, of course, of a regular 296 GTB that was in a showroom, and it just was starting up and revving its exhaust, and they sound a little bit similar. Now, keep in mind, this one is in a closed environment, and it is also kind of up close, much more up close than this one, but they sound pretty similar in their general tone, so I'll play this one for you right now. Okay, awesome. So now that we've heard those two exhaust notes, they don't sound too different in their general tone, but it's pretty interesting to see that we have now seen this kind of prototype concept car, well, not concept car, but the prototype car has been spied out testing, and the indoor car of the 296 GTB, and the exhausts don't sound too different, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but this powertrain, of course, is a hybrid powertrain, and it has that V6 back there as well, so there may not be too much that they can do to the exhaust notes. Not sure what that different exhaust placement is going to allow them to do, though. It could be different stuff for aerodynamics. They could be able to move some diffuser things around. But let's also take a little look more closely at the comparison shots between a regular 296 GTB and this one that we've seen in here. And there isn't too many differences we can really tell. Of course, this one is kind of wrapped up in a whole bunch of stuff. Kind of looking side by side, can't really find too much, especially even looking up front. This one does, of course, have a tow hook. And again, you can see that weird roof scoop style thing that's going on over there. I'm not even sure what that is. It honestly doesn't even look Ferrari. Looks even aftermarket a little bit, but it must be Ferrari because we have seen those stickers on Ferraris before that say don't take film or anything of these vehicles. These are prototypes, so I'm going to be really interested to see. There does seem to be a lot of stuff still covered up that we can't really necessarily see that could be hiding underneath there, but I guess this is going to have to be a later development, and I wonder if you guys know anything. Please feel free to drop it in the comments below. But that also leaves us with the 296 GTB in general. Of course, it's not on sale particularly yet, but what is it? What are we seeing here? And this is Ferrari's going to be like more entry-level supercar. Entry-level is a really, really difficult word to use because this thing is still making around 818, 819 horsepower, which is crazy. But it is a very different thing for Ferrari. We're probably going to see this powertrain thrown into the upcoming Sangue SUV, possibly as well. And the 296 GTB is bringing back the V6 under the Ferrari. Of course, the Dino brand was not technically Ferrari, but we all know they were kind of affiliated very similar with each other. But the 296 is, again, like this entry-level product from Ferrari, 2.9 liter twin turbocharged V6 thrown out back, and the engine alone is making a whopping 654 horsepower. And of course, we know that this is paired with a hybrid system and electric motor, making the full 819 horsepower and around 546 pound-feet of torque. And these turbos are pretty impressive. They alone can spin up to like 180,000 revolutions per minute, which is crazy. And this is sent through an 8-speed dual clutch transmission, and the electricity itself comes from a 7.45 kilowatt hour battery pack. Nothing too big, but it does allow the 296 GTB to drive around 16 miles of EV only range. So it really is kind of a true kind of hybrid in that sense, kind of taking from its big brother, the SF90. 0 to 60 happens under 2.9 seconds. I'm sure it'll be quicker than that. And 0 to 124 miles an hour, Ferrari says, happens around 7.3 seconds. They're also saying it can do around 205 miles an hour. And of course, the main competitor for this is the upcoming McLaren Artura, which alone is facing delays due to the chip shortage, unfortunately. But that car did just come out, and it does have, of course, less horsepower, unfortunately. But yeah, the 296 GTB configurators are also out. We've been all having a lot of fun kind of checking those out as well. And you can kind of see if you want to opt for this out if you're on a package, or if you just kind of want the stripes. It's kind of those quirky stripes Ferrari is doing again. And the design's pretty unique. I think it's very fresh and clean. A lot of people have been a little bit annoyed. I think it doesn't look so much like a Ferrari out back. Everyone misses the circle tail lights, but I think it looks pretty nice. And of course, it is still a Ferrari. People will still end up buying it. And I guess for an entry-level version of their supercar, putting that entry-level part in quotes, I guess it'll be better than buying a Portofino in some people's mindsets. So yeah, in that case, I think it's going to be a pretty big success for them regardless. And this hybrid powertrain system is only going to expand from Ferrari going forward. Of course, we have the big brother, the SF90, which has been a pretty big hit for them. They're trading around $1 million in the used market around in North America right now, which is pretty crazy. And it was also very difficult to get one of those from Ferrari directly. And hopefully the reliability works out with these. Ferrari is also introducing their all new digital kind of interfaces on the interior with touch buttons, their big new screens, and hopefully this pans out well for them going down the road. They're putting a lot of money and investing in all of this to kind of modernize the brand, but even completely shifting up their corporate structure to move forward with EVs and different hybridization of their entire lineup. And of course, the big one is the Sangue that is coming up, the SUV. I'm putting that in quotes because I've heard Ferrari might call it a Ferrari utility vehicle. And from all the spy shots and everything we've seen, it doesn't really look like an SUV, but more so a modern version of kind of a GTC 4 Lusso, maybe with actual 4 doors instead of 2 this time. Probably more room, and there may be more capability in terms of being a ground clearance versus the GTC 4 Lusso. So that's definitely going to be a very interesting one to see and see how the public reacts to that. I'm sure, like every Ferrari, it will be a pretty good hit for them. Thank you guys for checking out this video. I just want to show you these quick spy shots that our followers sent us over, and very thankful for them for letting us use them. And what do you guys think about this? Could this be a hardcore 296 GTB, or is it something else? Or is it just a 296 GTB prototype with some different exhausts in there? So let us know down in the comments below what you think, and make sure to check us out on Instagram, over on Twitter, and of course make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you again for watching, and stay tuned for a lot more.